The best birthday gift I ever received was 2 tickets, first to Turkey and then to Paris. Oh, Paris. If you haven't seen part 1, the part about how Evan surprised me with this trip, go back and watch that first. I didn't film very much in Paris, but I did manage to capture this part. My favorite gardens in Paris. If the ancient rambling streets are the veins of the city, then the gardens are surely the heartbeats of Paris. There are so many gardens in the city, it seems like there's one around every corner. So it is hard to boil them all down to a concise list of favorites. But for what it's worth, this is where we went. I'll start with my definite favorite. Place Des Vosges, in the Moriah district. It's actually not a garden though, it's more like a park. But it's a very typical Parisian scene. On warm days, locals come here and they lounge on the grass. You know, they take a midday break, they eat lunch, meet up. This is Paris laid back.
Without fail, there's always somebody making out in this park.
I love the vibe here. The biggest and most well-known garden in Paris is arguably Tuileries. Anyway, so that's the Louvre. Right in the center of the city, in the first arrondissement. This garden is Paris. Well, I think so. I heard that there are over 3,000 chairs in the garden. I don't really remember where I heard that, but nonetheless, there are a lot of chairs. For the sole purpose to sit back and enjoy life. Parisians really have that down to a T. I want to move to Paris, and I want to spend every afternoon for like 3 hours just sitting in one of these chairs. Doesn't that sound fun? In the 6th arrondissement, there's Jardin du Luxembourg. I love saying that. If you're at all familiar with the story Les Miserables, this garden is where Cosette and Marius first meet. So it's really entrenched in Parisian history. But funny enough, this actually is an Italian-styled garden. It's not French at all. This palace and the gardens around it were constructed in the classic Italian style for Marie de Medici, who was Italian. It should be noted that Evan, my jungle-loving animal guy, he's not a city person, but he does love this city, and especially the gardens. He might kill me for saying that, but how can you not? Look at these gardens. This last garden, this was a new one for me. Now I'm going to try and say this correctly, but I actually don't speak French, so I'm just going to give it a go. This is the Jardin Saint-Gilles Grand Veneur. Sorry if I totally butchered that. It's also in the Moriah, just a few blocks away from Place Des Vosges. But it's totally tucked away, and it's actually kind of hard to find. We maybe got a little bit lost looking for it, but that's why I like it. This is the garden that's really only known to locals. We walked in on a Thursday afternoon, and we definitely got some quizzical looks from the locals. Hardly any tourists come here, and we were definitely the only tourists there that afternoon. Can you imagine this being your local park? Did you have a local park like this at all when you were growing up?
We have nice local parks in Kansas.
Not like this. And within the hour, the school around the corner let out, and mothers and their adorable little French children came pouring in with their school bags and school lunches. It was a very real moment, a closer look at real life in Paris, which I loved. And that's it, that's all I filmed. There's obviously so much more about Paris to cover, but I guess that'll just have to wait for my next trip, which will hopefully happen soon, because there's something about Paris that I just can't quit.
She is the French ninja. No samurai sword, she has baguette. The French ninja. She's a kill people, she smokes cigarettes. The French ninja. No tofu and rice, it's cheese and wine. The French ninja. She walks around Paris with a carefree mind.